This week, we talk about Game Pass's biggest third-party game, some bad news for the game industry, and more. So let's just go ahead, together, as a people, and take it out! And welcome to another sensational Sunday. I'm Mike, and I'm back to talk about the gaming news. And unfortunately, layoffs have been making the news again lately. So I don't think I've talked about the Embracer Group before on this channel, but a basic rundown of who they are. They're a holding company that bought a bunch of companies. Well, they ended up running into some financial trouble because they were banking on getting some money that they didn't get. And as a result, we've seen a bunch of layoffs from companies that they own. And even the closer of Volition, the creator of the Saints Row games. Well, Eidos-Montreal, who's also owned by the Embracer Group, has confirmed that they had to lay off 97 employees. Now, the other part of the story that's being reported by Bloomberg is that they had an unannounced Deus Ex game that was also canceled as a result of these layoffs. Now, Eidos and Embracer have not confirmed that the game was canceled or existed, so it's just a rumor. But if it is true, it's really disappointing as a fan of that franchise. But more importantly, it sucks for the 97 people who lost their jobs. I was affected by a layoff / restructuring last year at the company I worked at, which ultimately led to me losing my job. I talked about it in my anniversary live stream a few weeks ago. But yeah, hopefully these people can find new places to work, and hopefully Eidos is able to bounce back from this, and maybe eventually we'll see a new Deus Ex game. But of course, we're not fully done with the layoff talk yet, so last year, Microsoft, after what felt like 6 decades, completed the purchase of Activision Blizzard in October. So of course, with them bringing Activision under their belt with one of the most popular games in the world, Call of Duty, they've seen a surge in sales. So Microsoft reported a 61% increase for Xbox content and services. Of course, this boost is from adding Activision's earnings, so in the future, they're probably not going to experience an increase this large. But either way, it's something to celebrate for Microsoft, and the way they decided to celebrate was by laying off 1,900 people from their gaming division. So yeah, last week in general wasn't great for people that work in the gaming industry. Microsoft put out a statement, and essentially they said that they identified areas that overlapped and decided to reduce the size of their workforce. Apparently they had 22,000 roles in their gaming division, and they're reducing it by the 1,900 I mentioned earlier. So these layoffs sound like they were more of a result of them buying a massive gaming company and eliminating some redundancies that they had. They probably had multiple people doing similar roles because that happens when 2 big companies merge. So this is less of a revenue issue like the Embracer Group had, but just a result of them buying another company. But either way, hopefully these people can find work elsewhere in the gaming industry. But not everything is bad in the world, especially in the PalWorld, and that's what we're talking about this week in our final story. So last week was the first time I covered any news from PalWorld, and that was mainly the Pokemon company saying they were investigating a game for the similarities in some of their designs in comparison to Pokemon. And at that time, I hadn't played the game yet. Well, as a personal update, since last week, I have tried the game now for almost 10 hours. Look, I don't know what happened. I got hooked on it, okay? And apparently so have 19 million other people. So PalWorld's developer Pocket Pair announced that they've reached 19 million players in 2 weeks since its launch, with 12 million on Steam and 7 million on Xbox. Now the Xbox number is important because Microsoft also announced that PalWorld is the biggest third-party launch on Game Pass. Now obviously that means they probably had bigger first-party launches, but that's still impressive for a game that just came out of nowhere. Anyway, let's wrap this thing up so I can go play more PalWorld. Let me know in the comments if you've been playing PalWorld. Y'all took too long to comment, so I'm already playing PalWorld. Outro stuff, 2 things at the same time. Subscribe, bye.